Hello, hello, hello. Nice to see you here once again. You're watching the Princess Talks. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Long weekend for some of us. Well, so much to talk about this week. So much. Even the show had been delayed because of the Olympics. Well, not exactly, but you know. To all our Canadian athletes in London, congratulations. You've made us proud. You've made yourselves proud. It takes a lot to get to the Olympics. So I say, whether or not you brought home a medal, the fact is you've made it to London, so you should be proud. So congrats to you and your coaches and supporters and sponsors and everybody else. So don't beat up yourselves. Take a bow. Okay. Oh, and to the people in Toronto, for the Scotia Caravana Parade, congratulations, it was a success. That's what I heard. I didn't get to go. You know me, it's too hot, but next time, when it's not so hot. But from what I've seen and heard, you guys did well. It was a complete success. The rain held up, crowd was great. Take a bow, all. Take a bow. Now, let's talk about today's real topic. I know it's like beating a dead horse, but yes, I have to get my 2 cents in. I'm going to make this, or try not to make this another rant, but I feel I must. As a hat and glove woman, I have to say something. I have to say something to Miss Barbara Walters. That's right. Yes, miss, it's you. You are a mean woman. Yes, you can be. I know you're bright. You're a very bright woman. You're an intellectual. Well, you're capable. You've broken grounds. You've done us women proud, and you should take a bow also. But there's another side to you, which is really quite frightening. I would expect that kind of behavior from someone else, not from you. Given the fact that you're who you are and you're of a particular age, I expect better. Let me just say this for a moment. Why are women so mean to other women? You know, all these talk show hostesses, whatever the term is, journalists, reporters, we're just so mean to one another. Why? It's a shame. Back to you, Miss Walters. So, like a lot of people, I too was extremely offended by your rant on the Queen. Yes, Queen Elizabeth. The woman in England, the one you were so rude to with your comments, it was totally unnecessary. Hear this. Actually, listen to this. You, of all people, should know that it's a tradition. She wears a hat. She is the Queen. What else did you expect? Now, she is of a particular age. She's also the Queen of England. To expect her to sit there and do this would be tantamount to blasphemy. Yes. Don't expect her to laugh and giggle. Not that you're expecting that. Yes, it's true. She should have smiled a little bit more. Had you said that in a nice diplomatic way, oh, the Queen, it was good to see her, and what an entrance. Except, you know, wish you'd smiled a little more. Guess what? We wouldn't have been so hard on you. But you didn't say that. You went on and on about the woman's smile or lack thereof. Why was it necessary for you to be so mean-spirited? You were acting as if she had, well, I'm trying to be diplomatic here. Oh, maybe she wasn't carrying her purse. Or maybe she was wearing winter boots at a summer game. After all, she is the Queen. She is royalty. This is how one has come to expect her to sit and behave. Like I said, a little bit more of a smile would have been, yeah, would have been great. But you know what? She didn't smile. It's not a big deal. Perhaps she wasn't feeling her best. Have you thought of that? After all, she's not a spring chicken. But nonetheless, she was very gracious. And this is what you, Miss Walters, should have focused on. Let me say this. Over the years, I've watched you. And yes, many of us, you know, we look at you in awe and we're like, wow, great, good for you. But I've also seen you over the years. You've said some mean. You've also been inappropriate to guests, which I don't understand why they still come to your show. Yes, I know you're Barbara Walters. Well, guess what? I have no show to plug, therefore I can say what I want to you. I'm not going to be disrespectful. Of course not. Never, never, never. No need. However, I have a few things to say to you. Starting with, back in the 90s, early 90s, during the time of Mike Tyson's and Robin Givens' wedding, you were totally disrespectful to Mike. I often wonder if you weren't the reason why he went home and got into a nasty thing with his then wife Robin. I know many of us could say, well, they shouldn't have been married in the first place. Well, it's none of our business. He wanted beauty, she wanted money. What's the big whoop? Who got hurt? If it's them, it's their business. The fact is, you were inappropriate to Mike, and I thought, how could you be speaking to this man like that? Remember what you said? You said many things to Mike. This is what I remember. I can't say word to word verbatim. This is what you said. How can someone like you, or where you come from, appreciate silk couch? Miss Waters, you could have simply said, Mike, we are amazed. Given your humble beginnings, look at you enjoying the finer things in life. You could have said that, and your point we would have gotten the point, instead of being so mean. So, you were speaking to him as if he wasn't, well, he wasn't human, or he was nothing. Meantime, you're sitting there perched on your little chair, and Mike. If I were him, I would have walked off your darn show. Next. Oh, Ricky Martin. Yes, you put him on the spot. Why should he reveal his business? It's his personal business. How has that changed your life or my life or the viewers? It hasn't. I'm still poor, you're still rich, and you still have lots of shows to do. Yes. And the world goes on. So what the heck? I thought that was so offensive. And you claim to like him. Next up, Sir Elton John. You claim to be his friend, his very good friend, and I think he adores you, and you pretend to adore him, which I'm sure you do. But why was it necessary for you to speak to him in the manner in which you did about his child? Oh, you're talking about the baby, this and that, and then you said, so do you know which one of you it is? Who cares? Many people are uncomfortable with gay people. Many people are even more uncomfortable with gay people having children, being a parent, whether it's biological or otherwise. So when you're sitting there saying this to him, getting into the details, how do you think that ultra-conservative people must feel? People don't want to hear that. Those of us that are not even conservative, we don't want to hear the nitty-gritty, because we are smart people. We get the hint. We understand. We know what's going on. So, Miss Waters, back to the Gov. Back to the Queen. I'm positive that you know of the women in the South. Once upon a time, not just in the South, but particularly in the South, charming women. They wore hats and they wore gloves to church. Now, some traditions should be abolished, but I tell you, wearing a hat and gloves to church, I think, is one of those traditions that should never be abolished. Never. Have you seen people in church today, what they look like? I know I shouldn't judge. At least they're going to church. Well, hear this. Many people who go to church and look inappropriate, guess what? It's not because they can't afford to. We're not talking about a homeless person. We're talking about people who just think, oh, what the heck, I'll wear my cutoffs and my flip-flops and go to church. How classless and tacky and disrespectful. So, as you are aware, the Queen is the Queen of England. Let me remind you, let me reiterate this. Therefore, she has to look a certain way. Frankly, I thought her hat was divine. So was her dress. It was a beautiful color. It was peach. It was lovely. What was the problem here? No, I'm not going to tell you that you have no class, and I just think your criticism was totally unnecessary. Like I said, I expected that sort of behavior from someone else, but not a woman of your stature. Shame, shame, shame on you. So, the next time the royal family steps out, please be mindful of your criticism. Oh yes, P.S. If I were them, I would have never granted you another interview. Not in this lifetime, because you have crossed the line. Shame on you, Barbara Walters. Shame on you. You are a bad woman. You are a meanie. must say this again. And as for all you talk show people who you seem to get off and being nasty to people, what is it? Wendy Williams, for example, her comment about Oprah's show, Oprah's own Wendy Williams, shame on you. Why was it necessary for you to say that? A black woman such as yourself who has a talk show, you should be on your knees licking Oprah's muddy boots instead of being so disrespectful. Do you realize who you're talking about? No, Oprah isn't God. She's not above being criticized either. But when you're going to talk about a show in such a negative light, that is totally unnecessary. Like I said, had it not been for Oprah, faces like yours probably would never be on TV. So, I'm going to run along now and put on my hat, though it's kind of hot over here in Canada. That's right. It's probably 37 degrees right now in Toronto. No, not snowing, not at all. So, Miss Waters, shame on you once again. This is the princess saying au revoir. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.